All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today here at Speedhaus, we are working on a Toyota Supra, other known as a Z4 lipstick.
What?
Oh.
So we are continuing the build that this guy's already started, and we're just gonna keep continuing it. So today we have a pure 900 turbo. We have S58 injectors, which is a pretty common thing to do on the Gen 2 B58s. And we have a Dorch high pressure fuel pump. That's what we're going to be adding today. So we're just going to continue with upgrading the fuel system. We're going to put a bigger turbo on this car so we can up the power just a little bit more. So this car is pretty much full bolt on right now. So all we're doing is upgrading that. So the car already has low pressure fuel pump, already has high flow downpipe, already has Wagner tuning intake manifold. So now we're going to put a big old pure 900 turbo on it, which is just a big hybrid turbo. So this car should make some really good power, but the customer's concerns right now is the limits of the transmission. So he probably will not go past 700 wheel. I think we have enough turbo and we have enough fueling. We might be able to push past 700 wheel, but currently we're gonna save the trans till we get a built trans in it. So right around the 650 to 700 wheel is what we should be making with this current setup. Okay, so we're gonna do probably the more hardest thing to do first. We're gonna do the pure 900 turbo. So we're gonna go ahead and start tearing down this B58. So we're gonna pull off, he's already got this splits brace on the top. We're gonna pull this off. We're gonna pull the intake box off. We're gonna pull the engine cover off, and we'll start working on this hybrid turbo. Okay, so all we've done so far, we took the brace off, we took the intake box out, and we took the actual inlet pipe to the turbo from the intake off. And so we've unplugged the wastegate. We unplugged some of this PCV hose right here. Just unplugged all this. So our next step, probably to take, so this had an aftermarket intake on it. And so we're just gonna take the adapter off and take the rest of the inlet pipe off the turbo. All right, so we're now underneath the car. We have the undershield off, this big metal thing. We also took the trans shield off so I could slide the undershield this way towards the back. And so we're now working on getting the downpipe off the turbo. While we're in here, we're gonna pull the downpipe. We're also gonna pull the oil drain line and one of the turbo lines, the turbo drain line, so we can drain all the coolant out and whatever oil's in the turbo out underneath the car before we start going to pull it out. So that's what we're working on right now. When doing these downpipes, you kind of have to pull the exhaust back a little bit, which is easier said than done. I just saw Will take my gushers again.
Gushers, taste the blast.
Downpipe. Make sure to unplug those two sensors or it will not come out of the car. So this is what you would consider a high flow downpipe. High flow catted downpipe. Absolutely. Now we have the downpipe out of the way. We're gonna go ahead and pull these couple lines. So you have this big coolant line. This is your drain coolant line, technically. Then you have your oil drain line, technically right here. Not a whole lot of oil will come out of this one, but a whole lot of coolant will come out of this one. So pull your coolant caps so it can breathe and get you a coolant tray because it's about to gush out of there.
Gushers.
If you're in your garage doing this, Lord help you, but I'll let that drain for a few minutes because it's gonna basically drain the entire cooling system. All right, so while we're letting the turbo continue to drain the fluids out, we're gonna keep working up top. So we're gonna pull the charge pipe off the inlet. Already pulled off the little clip, slowly but surely. So we have our coolant feed line right here. The easiest way to do that is it hooks into this auxiliary water pump. So we're gonna unhook it from this water pump. T30 right here for this coolant feed line. I'm gonna pull that one. Then this line right here is your oil feed line. I'm gonna pull this T30 here. I gotta wiggle this oil line out. So we're pulling this shield off right here. It's a heat shield. So we had to pull this T30 for this little bitty shield that we just pulled off. Alright, so before we pull the turbo manifold nuts, I want to show you this one bolt that I should have done when I was down below, but we're up here now. There is a T45. There's a very large bolt underneath the turbo. So when you're doing the downpipe, do this bolt. It's directly underneath that holds the turbo to a bracket. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what this bolt that I'm talking about. It is right here. See that guy right there? There's a T45 directly underneath the outlet of the exhaust on the turbo. Do that bolt. Okay, so we are now ready to pull the turbo out. So let me show you what we did. So after we got this shield off up here, we pulled all these 10 mils. We pull that guy off. Once that's out, the turbo should be ready to come out. Should come on out. She ain't light. And there's the old turbo. Okay, so now that we have the old turbo out and the new turbo in, right here next to it, we're gonna swap pretty much everything over. So all 4 of the lines, take the lines off and put them right back on exactly how you took them off. You need to do one at a time, do that, however you need to do it. Then we're gonna pull the electronic wastegate actuator. There's 4 bolts that hold it on all the way around. You have a C-clip right here. Pull this C-clip off, pull this off, and move it directly right over. And then after we have all that moved over, we'll be ready to put the new turbo back in. Alright, lines are on the turbo. Here's the Terps key. The biggest difference, I think, in these turbos is it not necessarily looking at the front, it's looking at the exhaust fins. Let's try to look how big those exhaust fins are. Compare it to our stock turbo, they are micro-sized. Maybe I'll have a good comparison here. We got a stabber in the hole. Just know your back is not going to like you for doing this. It's heavy when you're sticking it away from the body. Okay. Make sure you take your old gasket off, put your new gasket on, and then after you have the turbo slotted back in here, put this little guy back on. That's on. Now we have brand new nuts that Pierre sent us, so we're going to grab those and put those on. Doing all these lines, putting these lines back into place. Don't forget about that T45 underneath the exhaust side. You need to put that back in. Just want to start buttoning this back together.
Fix that thread, but I need to get that on.
Hard to unclip. Okay, so we're moving on to the injectors since we're basically done with the turbo. And so we're gonna kind of give you a quick walkthrough and how we're gonna get to the injectors. So you're gonna unplug this sensor that goes into the high pressure rail up here, unplug this one. And then you're gonna unplug all the coil packs, already unplugged them all. And you're gonna unplug all of the injectors. And then there's 2 8s, one here and one here. After you've done that, the whole rail, or a harness, unplug the injectors and coil packs, and just fold out of the way. And then you're going to pull this line, which we've already pulled it. After you get that line off, there's 4 E8s per bank. And after you have that out, you can literally just slowly pull it, and then it will come up and out. There's you 3 injectors. We'll do the other side, and we'll get the other side out. We have the S58 injectors on here. Kind of show you what we did here. Most of you guys are not going to have a tool at home to do all this. So what you're going to do is you're going to run these bolts in slowly at a time until you just get this really even up here. You just kind of hand tighten them with your hands so they're still loose. So so you can put these back in the hole, and all these little dimples here will line up. Then we put a little lube, silicone lube on these seals so they don't catch. They glide right down in there. That's what we're going to do. Drop this down in the hole. Make sure we're all lined up. We can kind of push down, help getting them all lined up all the way. Then we're going to put our 4 bolts back in and get those semi-hand tight. Alright, so we have slowly did these 4, alternated these 4, so we got this to be flush with the head of the block. So now that we have that flush, they're not tight, they're just flush. We're going to go through and do 90 degrees at a time, alternating until we get to 5 Newton meters. All 6 of these. Once we get all these 5 Newton meters, we're going to go through and do a 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree, and so forth. That'll be completely tight on these E6s. Nice. We're now working on the high pressure fuel pump and taking these out. Don't just zip out the screws. I know you're putting the new pump in it, but these pumps are known for breaking the stem that rides on the cam when you don't take them out straight. Fun fact. Common thing on the N63s, and it carries over into the B58s. Here our Dorch adapter plate for our Dorch high pressure pump. You're going to put the plate in and use their little guide tool to help guide it completely up before you tighten these screws. Yep, leave this in here when you're tightening this down so it stays centered.
Save a lot of money by doing all the maintenance.
Not entirely sure how this goes in. Probably this one. That looks right. Pushing its spring. And with the new one, a little bit more of a challenge. You sort of have to compress the spring. Alright, now we're just going to walk this sucker down 1 or 2 turns at a time. Alright, now we'll go ahead and tighten all these down. These are all 17s. We now have a high pressure fuel pump technically in the car. We just gotta plug in the adapter harness. But sure, how did this go together?
There it is. So now it's washed completely out.
alright, where are we at? Well, we're currently working on the catch can. Because if you go, depending on what hybrid turbo you get, you will be forced to do a catch can. So we have the Pure 900, and let me show you what's going on here. I get some drunk. Pop the thingamajiggers. All right, let me show you what our problem is. So here is the inlet pipe that you're supposed to use with this Pure 900. As you can tell, there is no connections for the stock PCV hose wherever this guy's at. Yeah. So like here is the wherever it's at. Okay. Here you go. Here you can see what's going on. So we have this pipe for the air filter, and then we have the stock inlet pipe for the turbo, and see we have this little connector for part of the PCV system. All this connector and that connector gets deleted with this Pure 900. So when you do that, you have these PCV hoses that are just going to be wide open now. So in order to fix that, you need to buy a catch can. So we're now working on putting the catch can on.
If you guys want to see more BMW content, European car content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys in the next one.